We've had IS-023 contained in the aquarium for almost a decade now. We recovered it from Antiverse 42, so we should have guessed where this would lead. 023 shows no sign of stopping its growth. There were several specimens, but it seems to have consumed its remaining competitors. I have better things to do than repeat myself, but as directed by the executive, I remind staff, swimming alongside the beast is prohibited. It would seem that IS-023 is quite averse to the high-energy EM spectrum. Coming from Antiverse 42, I'm aware it may become too large to contain. Dr. Feltman suggested releasing it to the Hydroplant reservoir. I often struggle to know when that man is serious. Anyone who would do that should not be allowed anywhere near this facility or its erudite accomplishments. Access for Cascade staff to IS-134 has been severely limited. Management at Voussoir, such as it is, have elected to fortify a mountain and lock the creature deep inside, seemingly in order to forget about it. This is a shame, given the entity's unique place in human history. However, as sightings continue, I admit with some indulgence that it may not be the only one of its species. I would love to get one here for direct study. The Voussoir team seem to have accepted that this is in fact the Yeti of legend. Personally, I have questions, but certainly we have more than enough to keep us busy here at Cascade. Corresponding with staff in our Alps facility, one could get the impression they have better things to do than resolve the mystery of the so-called abominable snowman. Perhaps they're off searching for the Loch Ness Monster or some other snowy unbelievables. Increasingly, we believe IS-064, the composer, is not an individual being at all, but the extension of another entity entirely. We've not been able to reach this entity, nor open another perforation to its original domain. We achieved close contact of a sort, but now it seems to be almost hiding from us. We are unsure how it managed this, but if I'm right, and it interpreted our first intrusion as an attack, this may have consequences we cannot foresee. There is an even more intriguing possibility pertaining to the Exor. There are indications they are not native to that realm, but introduced, raising the dubious question, introduced by who? And of course followed by the inevitable why. Dr. Derek Manse reporting. I cannot say whether the reservoir is one of our great successes or an abject failure. When we brought back 0142 from Antiverse 13, we knew it was some kind of living machine. A biological engine. It was Wakeman who dropped a fragment into the reservoir. Accidentally, he claimed. The development of the organism since then has been nothing less than extraordinary. The logic by which this organism builds itself is almost impossible to discern. An interweaving of facets forming what Simmons called a citadel. We have reason to believe it performs some kind of processing function, but I would be the first to admit its operation is currently beyond our understanding. I have immense respect for Dr. Wakeman's achievements, but I'm concerned at the limits, or lack thereof, on his robotics research. As far as I can discern, Wakeman has been given carte blanche to pursue a machine consciousness program. He's a poor communicator at the best of times, but if I understand his recent mutterings, he has incorporated elements of IS-0142 into his new water bot. How he did this, and whether its conversational ability is a charming trick or something more enduring, well, I'm not convinced even Dr. Wakeman knows. Dr. Derek Manse reporting, Research Director, Gate Cascade Research Facility. Our neutrino detector is finally online. It's about time. The calibration is complete, and we're seeing the first faint suggestions of activity. Placing the detector in the depths of the Hydroplant reservoir was a challenge, but the ideal location for such a device. It should keep the photon detectors safe, too. We've noticed something else. The neutrino detector attracts perforation targets itself, possibly due to its shielding. At any rate, it's frustrating. Every time a portal appears in the reservoir tower, we have to recalibrate the entire apparatus. My concerns about our experiments with temporal perforations are increasing. Causality is even more fragile than we imagined. Unless someone can assure me that they know what they're doing, I may have to put gate efforts in this direction on hiatus.